Hi friends, happy Easter season. Have some awesome crafts for you today. So glad you joined me. We are gonna do these fun marbled Easter eggs. Spelling out Easter. See, it's got a stand and an egg right there. And these decorative Easter eggs. So let's get started. All right, the first one we're gonna do is the marble one. So you need to get some eggs, this size eggs. I just picked up a pack at Dollar Tree, but you may already have them at home. So it works better with the larger eggs. So I have this and I need some paint. So I'm using my same old chalk paint, cream and moss. So we're going to use that today. I'm going to get some out for me to use here. Just a smidge. It doesn't take much. All right. So we're also going to need, so you need two colors. So I'm using the cream and the green. We're already mixed up and ready to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alrighty. Then, this works great if you have a skewer, you know, one of these little things. Or you can use a toothpick, might be a little difficult. But this is one of those skewers. You know, I got a whole pack at Dollar Tree for like $1. Then I have some styrofoam to help me stabilize. So these eggs already have holes in the bottom. I did take a little pocket knife and widen it just a smidge so I could get the skewer all the way in there. And you want to push it all the way up so it's not too wobbly like this. And then we're going to stick it into the styrofoam to dry. So that's the plan. And in order to paint this, I have some little makeup wedges that are, you may have that at home. You may have some sponge, an old sponge. You can use that. They make these little sponge dabbers if you want to use one of those. But I had some makeup brushes, so sponges. So that's what I'm going to use. And so this is securely in there. Just going to get some of my cream. And I'm patting it on there. So the reason why we're using this and not a regular brush is we're going for a marble effect today. And so we are trying to make a marble effect. I don't want any brush strokes. So that's why I'm using these. But again, old sponge that you're not using. See how that's covering up so cool. So then you need to make sure to have a thick enough coating that it covers up the color of the egg. But you can play with this too. If you wanted to, if you want a little bit of that peeking through, this is all up to you and whatever you want at your house. So we are just sponging away. All right, so while it's wet with my cream color, I'm going to use the other side of my sponge, and I am going to use the green and dap off a little extra so I'm not using too much. And then I am spreading it around like this, see? To get a marble effect. And the reason why I'm bouncing around like this is because I don't want it too dark in one spot. So you saw how I dabbed off the extra. And I'm using that. I'm actually dabbing onto the space where I have extra and thinning it out. And so you play with this any way you want, however much you want on there. So what's happening is we're seeing the white come through the green. Yes, that's what we're seeing. All right, so I'm showing you a little difference here. Here is where I'm making it darker, and there is lighter. So you figure out which way you want. I wanted to show you two different ways. I actually like the darker. I think that's cool. So I'm going to add a little bit more over here where I smoothed it out. And I think that looks great. They're all going to look different. So I'm going to poke this in here to dry. But let me show you a difference. Let's put this over here out of the way. All right, so here's one that's got a lot of dark on it. Let me find one. Here's one that has a little less, where you're dabbing so much more. So how I did this one is I used more on the sponge and didn't smooth it out like I smoothed this one out, and I showed you on the other one. Isn't that cool? So I also want to show you something else. This is what I did the first time. Can you tell the difference? This is more squared and this is more marbled. So what happened there is I painted all 6 eggs, because I'm spelling Easter. So I painted all 6 eggs with the cream. Then I went back with the green. Well, by the time I went back, the cream was already pretty much dry. So you don't get the marble effect. You get this effect. So, which is still cool, but it's not what I was going for. So I had to do it over. So just to give you an idea, and you can learn from my experience. And then we just let that dry. So we're letting that dry, put that off aside. And these little stands are super easy. These are made out of toilet paper rolls because, you know, we try to reuse around here. So those are made out of toilet paper rolls, so you might need some of those. But you can also get, if you want, like the, what do you call it? The napkin rings. You can get a set of napkin rings. You can do that at Dollar Tree. They're taller. So these are about 1.5 inches. So my toilet paper rolls are just over 3 inches. I think it's like 3¼ inch. And so I wasn't sure how tall I wanted them. So I ended up going with 1.5 inches. So that's what this looks like. So I measured off 1.5 inches, one from each end, so that the one side was not cut by me. It was professionally cut. And one side was cut by me. So that way we have 2 out of each toilet paper roll. And then you're just going to take some jute or twine and wrap it around. So I have my handy dandy glue gun, which if you don't have a glue gun, you can use like tacky glue. You can even use Elmer's glue if you want. And just start it on one end and start wrapping. And then every little bit you might want to put some glue, but you don't have to do it all the way through. And you have to be careful because the more little glue you add on there, you might have some residue you'll have to pull off, but it's all good. So I am putting 2 batches at the beginning to make sure I'm nice and tight. And then I'm just wrapping around. So like I said, this size works well for me. So it's only like 1.5 inches tall. But if you were to make it taller, like 3 inches, and it all depends on your spacing where you're going to put your eggs. So if you were to make it taller, you could decorate it if you wanted to. You know, just do a little something different instead of just jute or twine around it. So I'll show you an example of that. But since I made mine just 1.5 inches, I don't really have enough space to decorate it the way I was thinking. So I'm almost finished. See how fast this works up? All right, I want to secure up here at the top. That's it. Get some scissors. So it's going to take a little bit of time for the egg to dry, or, you know me, I get a little impatient and I use a hair dryer, and it works great. So you can do that as well. And here we go. Isn't that cool? Looks super cute. Now, an idea for a decoration is if you happen to have a different color of twine, like I have green right here. Look, I made all these bows because I thought that would be so cute. But it's a little short for that. Mine's a little short. So if I had a taller one, this again is 3.5. So you could easily, just over 3, you could easily put it on something that size or a little smaller. Put your egg on top. So you play with it and you see what you want. But it will look cute. So that's it. It is so simple, so pretty. You can see mine all put together like in the intro. And these letters I already had. So I've seen something like this at Dollar Tree. I'm sure they have it at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, all of those, I'm sure. So I had letters. They're just stickers. And that's what I put on here. Mine were silver and shiny, and they were too glossy for me. So I took a brown Sharpie and colored it. So this is colored with a brown Sharpie. But there's all kinds of choices. You can even get it in black, flat. So just think about that before you put them on there. You also can just hand stencil on your own letters. I just don't have great handwriting. But you could do it yourself. You could cut it out with felt or construction paper if you want to. It doesn't have to be a sticker. You can cut them out of magazines. Just use your creativity. Awesome. All kinds of ideas. So that's it. Super easy for that one. Let's go to craft number 2. I love these. These are out of the small eggs. Same concept. We are going to wrap it with this jute twine. And this, I think they call it, what do they call this? Farmhouse. Like a farmhouse decor, maybe. So you just take your hot glue and you put some on the bottom and you start twisting. And I keep burning myself. That's why I have these little silicone covers on my fingers. But I'm like, I keep burning myself because I got this nice glue gun that really helps me out, but it's hot. So then, same concept with this as we did with the stand. You start at the bottom. See, I'm already burning myself. And you just wind around just like this. So again, the more glue I put on here, the steadier it's going to be, so which is great. But you're going to have these little strings from your hot glue. So you know how you do that, right? You just wait till it all dries and then you pull it off. So I'm just wrapping around, and probably every 2 strands or so, I'm putting just a dab of glue to make it hold on. Then afterwards, I will get any excess off of my egg. So this one slid on me, looks like. It's going to go a little sideways, but it doesn't matter because this craft is forgiving. It's all going to work out and look super awesome. So I don't know if you noticed with the ones that I've already done, they have a little decoration on them. So a friend of mine gave me a bag of ribbon and notion scraps. It's crazy. And I thought, what am I going to do with that? And I've had them for years. And I just thought, well, maybe as the kids are growing up or something, they'll need some sort of craft. Ends up I did. So that's where I got all of this all of these decorations that are going on top of my eggs. See how I went sideways? That's crazy. So I started in the center, but I think my glue shifted on me. But again, it doesn't matter because it's going to work. So I love this little jute. I use it for lots of stuff, but you can get it at Dollar General, Dollar Tree. Walmart. You can add it to your grocery list and you don't even have to go out. Amazon, of course, has all that. It comes in handy. I use it for a lot of my crafts. It's not expensive. Yeah, there we go. Isn't it funny? Ages ago, people just used this stuff as a necessity. And then you wanted to go to finer, nicer looking things. And we all switched up. Now we just came straight back, didn't we? And we're using this because we want to look back into the simpler days. See how it's covering up so nice? It all looks rustic. So this is like a rustic Easter we're doing, isn't it? Yeah. All right, going around and around. So while we're doing this, our other egg is drying. That's a plus. Now then, as we get to the skinnier part, so I started with the big end of my egg. And as we get to the smaller end of my egg, the egg is slippery. So the twine or the jute rope stuff I'm using here is sliding around a bit. So you might need to use a little extra glue to hold it in place more often. Then you just kind of find your rhythm. Can you see my rhythm? All right, we're almost to the end. And you finish the end just like you started at the beginning. You put glue on the top and swirl around. So I don't know how you guys decorate. This is actually my first year of decorating for Easter. I saw these fun crafts for you guys and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to try some of these for my own house. So I have like my mantle decorated and that's fun. All right, look, we're almost at the top. Again, I'm getting skinnier in my egg, so I need to use a little more glue as I go. And then once I get to the top, like this, I'll just finish off. Then you just take some of your other ribbon or fabric that you have around the house and put a little ribbon around it. All right, cut off the end, finish up my top, trim it. Ta-da! And we're good to go. I got a little scrap ribbon I'm going to put on. And they look just like this. Just like this. Yeah, looks great. So we will put this over. And see, it doesn't take much. Just a simple little touch. I'm going to snip it off. Uh-oh, my dog's talking. Oh my goodness. And that's it. Sorry for my dog. Isn't it cute? So you just display like this, just stack them up on top, and they look great. Thanks for joining me. I hope you like to do some of these crafts. You can try it at home. And I guess we'll see you next time.